Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. All right, we're here to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta, Marlo's Trip Part 2. Ugh. Anyway, I first want to start off by saying welcome to my new subbies. Welcome to the beautiful people family. We are so happy to have you. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It is free of charge. And it's just a click to you, but it means the world to me. I appreciate everyone who's here and everyone who is coming. All right, let's get to the trip, you guys, because Marlo is pressed. The name of this should have been Marlo is Pressed. All right, y'all. So the episode starts off. We have Sheree, Marlo, no, yeah, Marlo, Sheree, Yin and Yang, frickin' frack, the new frickin' frack, and or Dumb and Dumber, whatever you want to call them. No, actually, Drew. Drew and Sanya can be dumb and dumber. I swear to God. Sanya, I was not disliking her until this trip. I was trying to give Sanya the benefit of the doubt the whole entire time. Even after the first couple episodes when she was being the bone carrier, running back to Marlo, telling him what she said, what the other girl said with Sheree. I'm like, okay, maybe she's learning and she's not so bad. But after this trip, Sanya, everybody was saying Sanya can go. Sanya can definitely go. Or either stay and just deal with the consequences. Suffer the consequences because we're going to get to it. I'm jumping ahead. But anyway, we have all of them taking pictures and everything. And I'm like, ugh, what a motley crew. Ugh. But Marlo gives a PSA at the end of the night that if Kenya does not come to breakfast and everything or whatever and to do things with them, she cannot come on the trip. She cannot do any of the events with them. And I'm like, Marlo, who do you think you are? And you guys, I feel like in this whole thing, I'm going to be saying some of the same stuff over and over because I was literally screaming at the TV when I watched it. Who do you think you are, Marlo? Who do you think, who do you think you are? And she's so freaking pressed. Oh my God. Yeah, so you know how when they start, they showing all the different people. It's the next morning and they're waking up, so they're all calling their families or whatever. And yeah, are those bifocals or something that Drew has on? Like what she got on? What type of big old glasses were those? Listen, if she gotta wear bifocals, I ain't mad, but dang, they was big. But anyway, we see Marlo going. She's talking to the chef about mimosas and everything, and she's telling the chef, "You guys, do you hear me? The chef. Yeah, I got somebody that might be coming or might not be coming, but if she doesn't come, then we'll just have more gifts. I'm gonna go get my makeup done." And I'm like, "You're still talking about Kenya? You're talking to anybody that will listen about Kenya. Why are you so freaking worried about Kenya? It's ridiculous." So she goes to go get her makeup done. All right, y'all. So as soon as Marlo goes in the room, we see Kenya pulls up and she's like running in the house. And at first I was like, what is she doing? But I guess it's really, really cold out there. Like she looked like it was really cold out there. So she runs in the house and she's like, where is everybody? And it was weird because the chef is gone. Like nobody is around. So she ends up finding Drew. And Drew is like screaming. She's laying in her Versace robe with her big bifocal glasses on, talking to her husband. And she's like screaming, oh my God, look who's here. So she tells him she'll call him back or whatever. And Kenya's like, look at you, all Versace'd up. And, they have to give the normal exchange of you look cute, all that or whatever. And Drew's robe is kind of coming open. So Marlo is like, not Marlo, Kenya is like, oh, let me see. And she's trying to close it. And Kenya is open and like, no, for real, let me see. And I was like, ew, like, seriously? What's up with this stuff? You guys, I just don't understand the ladies of today that, listen, I don't have a problem with gay people, lesbians, all that. I have no problem with it, honestly. But why does it just seem like all the women of today, I won't say all, but especially the younger women and everything, like they really, well, Kenya ain't even that young. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it alone. But I just feel like there's a whole lot of woman on woman stuff and like lesbian stuff coming up and like touchy feely stuff with the ladies, and I just don't understand it. But maybe it's not for me to understand, because when Sanya comes, she's all screaming, she's happy to see Kenya too, and she's like grabbing Kenya's coat and dancing with her, and it was just like, I don't know. I mean, that wasn't as intimate as showing your boobs or whatever, but still, it was still a whole lot of touchy feely. So, But they're happy she's there. And I'm like, girl, well, I'm not going to jump ahead with the whole Sanya thing. I'm not. Yeah, so Marlo comes in the hall where all the ladies are screaming or whatever, and she sees Kenya, and she's like, "Oh, hey!" And she reaches out like, "Oh, I know you're not gonna hug me, but hey." And Kenya's like, "Mm-hmm, yeah." And she's very gracious though. She smiles, and she even spoke to Marlo, "Hey," but yeah, she's in her confessional like, "I'm not with the phony stuff. So all that hugging you when I see you, no, I'm not about it." And I don't blame her because this girl, if you know for a fact you don't like her, like she's just literally telling you a few hours ago that you can't come and hang with us, you can't hang with us. And now you want to hug me? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah, so Kenya is on some next level energy. And I feel like, listen, Kenya is an OG. Yes, Marlo has been there for quite a few years as well, but she's not an OG. She's not. I'm sorry. She was a friend of the show, and she popped in and out different seasons. She's not an OG. Kenya's an OG. She knows how to play this game. So she knew, like, coming in with this super hyper energy was like a fuck you to Marlo. It really was. And all the girls feeling it, all the girls like, oh, listen to the positive energy. Look at all this. She's super hype. And even when Marlo comes out, Kenya's giving a compliment. Yeah, the place is nice. Marlo's like, you like it, Kenya? Yeah, it's nice. Nice view. Marlo says, listen, when you're done with the girls or whatever, can you stop by my room and, speak with me? And she's walking back into her room and Kenya don't say nothing. She's like, you hear me, Kenya? And she's like, yeah, I heard you. And she said that in a super hyper voice as well. And I'm dying laughing because I'm like, Kenya is never going in that room. And I don't blame her because you're not my manager. Don't talk to me like that's what I do to people. When I be like, listen, I need to speak with you. Can you meet me in the office? Can you come in? Yes, she's not, you're not her manager, Marlo. She's not coming in there. And I was so feeling everything. Well, I can't say everything because you guys, I haven't seen the second half of the show. But I was feeling Kenya and her vibe and the way that she was playing this game. And Kenya was definitely playing a game. She knows this is not Marlo's trip actually. It really isn't. Marlo didn't pay for this shit or whatever. And this is where I come to get paid. I show up, I get paid. So you cannot put me out. Who do you think you are? Once again, Marlo, who do you think you are? All right, so then we have Kenya on the patio singing the Eddie Murphy "Gonna Get in the Hot Tub" song. And like I said, she's just on another level of hyperness. And Sanya comes out and Sanya's like, yeah, Marlo says she wants to talk to you. You gonna go in there? Girl, she fans her off like, beat it. And I'm like, Sanya, mind your business. And she's telling, go get in there. So we see Marlo is getting her makeup done. She's talking to, it looks like her assistant or something. And she's like, yeah, Kenya came and I'm glad she's here because I told her if she doesn't come to breakfast and everything, she can't come with us. So she's saying it like she won. And I'm like, you didn't win, sis. You did not win. You're not calling the shots. You're really not. And her assistant is like, well, I am so glad that you're being the bigger person because that's who you are. And I'm like, who? Who, Marlo? Marlo's the bigger person? Like, who do you work for, sis? Are you just the yes person? Because we all know that Marlo is not the bigger person. Marlo is trash to me. Sorry. Your girl has had a cocktail. Sorry. She has had a glass of wine. And we're going to do a drinking game that whenever I say Marlo is pressed, we're going to have a drink. How about that? We're gonna take a little swig. But yeah, so once again, we have Kenya and Sanya. They go sit down or whatever. And Sanya's like, yeah, but the question is, are your bags here? And she's like, the bags are in the car. Oh, okay. Well, are you staying here? I don't know. If my car can't get a charge, then yeah. And she's like, oh, look at God. So we get this whole thing where Sanya's telling her once again, Marlo says she has something for you in the room and you just haven't gone in there. Bitch, she know. She know what she doing. What are you talking about, Sanya? And Kenya's like, yeah, I'm not in a rush. Like, I'm fine. It's fine. Y'all, and it was right here that Sanya pissed me off so bad, and she made herself look and sound so stupid. She really did. Like, Kenya's telling her that, listen, she got a lot of demons. I'm not interested in getting gifts from her. I don't know what kind of demons she got in them gifts or whatever. So, Sonya's in the confessional, like, wow, if Kenya felt that way about Marlo, and, we're here for Marlo, we're here to rally around her and be her support group, then she shouldn't have come. And I'm like, you sound so fucking stupid. Like, she really do. You sound really stupid. Really trying to rally with Marlo? Are you serious? And when I tell you, I promise you, at some point, she is going to get bitten. Like, Marlo is no one's friend. And Sanya choosing that team, so stupid. So stupid. But anyway, she's going on and on about, how we're here for Marlo and she shouldn't have come. And then we go back to them talking on the couch, and Kenya's like, oh, and then, Sonya's telling Kenya, yeah, when she says that she really respects you and everything, I believe her. And she's like, I don't buy it, okay? Because she doesn't care about anybody. She did, the same thing to her nephews. And Sonya's like, what? Yeah, she put her nephews out. I think Sonya already knew that. But then Sonya's just like, well, this is a person who was not a mother, who didn't know like, she's literally defending Marlo. And when I tell you, I was so irritated when I watched this for the first time. I was just like yelling at the TV. You are so dumb. You sound so stupid, because she does. Sanya, dumbass. All right, so as they're still sitting on the couch, Kenya further explains to Sanya why she feels so strongly about Marlo giving away the kids, and she's like, "Listen, it hits home with me because when I was young, I wanted to, get to know my mom's side of the family, and my grandma told me, okay, cool, come and stay with us for the summer or until you graduate or something like that." And she said once it got too hectic or she was just tired of it, she's like, okay, you gotta go. And she's just like, what? What the heck? And she said on the way back to wherever they were taking her, she just, the car was still running. She just stopped, dropped, and rolled out the car and ran away. She ran to her ex-boyfriend's house. She was there for 3 weeks. They were looking for her. And she's just saying how the stuff that Marlo is doing is further adding to the trauma for the boys. It's adding to the trauma, the abandonment issues, and them feeling like, well, what's wrong with me? It's bad enough you're already displaced. Like, they have no home. I mean, if you really think about it, unfortunately, these babies have no home. Their mom is away. She's in jail. She's away. She has mental issues, whatever, drug issue, whatever issue she has. They're not with her. They already don't have a place to stay. Now you're with your auntie for 3 years. You feel that you are finally, perhaps finally in a place where you can, breathe or whatever. And then all of a sudden, as soon as you don't do what she wants you to do, you're gone. And so as she's explaining to Sanya, Sonya's like, well, they're with their auntie. And she's like, I don't care. They're not with Marlo. And they were with Marlo. And when you take on kids, she's like, I'm offended as a mom. When you take on kids and you have kids, you love them forever. Like, you can't just be like, oh, okay, I'm tired of you. You got to go. And, again, Sonya's just like, oh, well, I'm so glad you're here because Marlo said if you didn't come to breakfast. And Kenya just gets up and she's like, listen, girl, bye. Like, you don't tell me. God damn it. This stuff happens every time. Sorry. She's like, you don't tell me, she don't tell me where I need to be. And she's getting sick of Sanya. I can tell by the way she was talking to her, like, girl, bye. That, Sanya is constantly taking up for Marlo, and it's so irritating. Ugh. It's just not even cute. Like, Sanya, you picked the wrong team, sis. Wrong road. Wrong road. Y'all, so here's the problem with Sanya. So once they, Kenya gets up and leaves or whatever, Sanya walks upstairs to where Sheree is getting her some breakfast ready. And she walks to Sheree and she's like, did you see Kenya? And she's like, no, is she here? Oh, she here. Oh, she here. And she dropped a lot on me. Bitch, no, she didn't. She just said a couple things to you. Like, are you kidding me? And Sheree is like, what? And she's like, I feel like we should go talk to Marlo. Y'all, I hate the way those two, now Sanya has, listen, she is all up their butts or whatever, and she's trying to make it a threesome, and they're just like really running behind Marlo. It's driving me crazy that, it already drove me crazy that Sheree, which is an OG, has like really taken herself to be one of Marlo's minions or whatever. And it's just like, girl, you're an OG and now you're a minion. And now, what's her name? Sanya is a minion. And so they go and they tell Marlo, we need to talk to you. She's like, oh, it sounds serious. And Sanya just starts talking about how, yeah, Kenya's here. And, when I talk to her, I'm like, yeah, we're here for Marlo. And she's like, no, I'm here for everyone. And she's like, but girl, we should all be here for Marlo because Marlo, we're here for you. And I'm like, the ass kissing is just ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. And I'm not crazy because in the confessional, Sheree is even in the confessional saying, listen, she sounds like a mini bone collector. And so what I'm going to do is just let her have it. And I'm like, now, if you have the main bone collector now calling you a bone collector, she knows exactly what it looks like. And that is exactly what she's doing. You even have the producer in the confessional like, what's the difference between bone collecting and peacemaking? Oh, peacemaking is because I want to see it get better. No, ma'am, you are a bone collector, and we don't like bone collectors in case you didn't know. Okay, so Sanya is telling her that she had stuff to say about your nephews. Instead of her just saying exactly what it was, is, oh, she had stuff to say about your nephews. So, of course, Marlo is like, what she have to say about my nephews? Now she's getting mad and defensive. And she's like, well, no, no. She gave her own little account of, why she has an issue with the fact that you put them out. And she's like, who told her? I didn't tell her. So then we have Sheree stepping up saying, listen, I talked to her and pretty much I told her. And, just Sonya is just like, I just feel like if she's not gonna well, of course we know that, just to finish that off, that Marlo was like, tell that bitch to leave them out her mouth, like don't talk about them. Girl, you don't care about them, not to that extent, like they're your kids or whatever, so beat it. So Sanya is just like, I just feel like, why did she come on the trip, your trip, Marlo? Because first of all, it's not really her trip, dummy. Do you know how this works? They have the person say it's their trip and say that they put everything together, but it's Bravo's trip. So you sound crazy. Why would she want to come on your trip if she doesn't want to bridge the gap with you or whatever? And I'm like, Sanya is doing way too much, like way too much. But side note, excuse me, Sheree's hair, yes, ma'am. Like Sheree's hair is laid, you guys. She got this little up down thing going on, but what's laid is like her baby hair and the fact that you can't really tell. I mean, it's a wig or whatever it is, but it looks good in the front. Listen, okay, Sheree. So, Marlo, she's so stupid. She's like, pray with me, Sanya. Pray with me that she leaves the boys' names out of their mouths because I love little Brooklyn. So she does this little stupid prayer. You guys, from what I saw, and again, I didn't see the second half yet. I'm gonna watch it and give like my real reaction. I can't believe I'm at 15 minutes already. But yeah, they just sound so stupid, so stupid. All right, y'all. I'm sorry. This is gonna be kind of a long interview, not interview, review because I'm at 17 minutes already, and it's only 20 minutes in. Oh my God, I'm just giving way too much commentary. But we now have Kenya sitting at the she's eating. She's sitting at the counter with her laptop and everything. Sheree comes in, says hi to her. I'm like, they so freaking phony. Because first of all, when they was in there talking to Marlo, Sheree's like, yeah, I love Kenya too. Like everybody has to give this disclaimer about how they love Kenya, but now let me shit on her. And I'm just like, whatever. So Sheree comes in and Kenya tells her in a very business like she's no nonsense. Yeah, you have a meeting with my guy at like 3 or whatever. And then we have a flashback of her saying she would kind of help Sheree out. And she's like, are you going to take the call? Sheree's like, yeah, I'm going to take the call. Do you have your notes? Are you going to be ready? Yeah, I'll be ready. Like Sheree looked totally caught off guard. And I'm like, she ain't ready. So then we have Candy talking to her as well, telling her, listen, it makes no sense that you have the biggest brand probably of all of us. Everybody knows She by Sheree, and it's not even an actual brand yet. Like that makes no sense. And she's like, even if you start small and it'll sell out real quick, and I believe that too. She's like, it'll sell out real quick, then you can use that money to expand and buy more, and hire more people or whatever. And so Sheree is like, well, Candy has all these businesses, so if she's trying to give me some advice, I'm going to take it. I just don't think Sheree is serious. She just doesn't seem very businesslike. Even when Kenya was telling her, I got to cut my commentary down. Yeah, I'm doing too much. Even when Kenya was telling her, that she needs to get ready, she didn't sound ready. All right, y'all. So who comes in? Fatum. And I forgot to mention that Drew was on the phone with her husband, and she was telling her that, telling him that Fatum might be coming, and she don't understand why Sheree keep putting her in the position of, having to be around this girl. And I'm like, because the girl is her friend and you are not. Like Sheree don't give a shit about you, so she don't care about the fact that you don't like Fatum. She don't care. So Fatum comes and, everybody's greeting her or whatever. And Drew is like, oh, amazing. That's just great. Drew is like 12. She honestly is. And now Drew's pressed. I'm like, everybody is pressed here. So they're getting ready to go. And I will say that what Marlo is wearing is cute. She got on her little Fendi, and y'all know I don't like a whole lot of the brand stuff just all over you. But the coat is cute. She got the little headband on and the boots, cute. So yeah, she's talking to Candy and them, and she's like, "You guys can go get in the sprinter and everything. Kenya, can you stay back and talk to me again, like a manager?" And she's like, "Kenya, did you hear me?" She's like, "No, what?" Excuse me, can you stay back and talk to me? And she's like, oh, I'll think about it. I'll let you know, or something, she says. And she's like, no, you can either you don't have to let me know. You can either stay back and talk to me or get in your car and leave. And King is like, don't talk to me like that. Don't talk to me like that. Well, can you talk to me? Not in that tone. Oh, Kenya, can you stay back and talk to me then? And she literally proceeds to start chasing her around. Well, then I'm just going to, follow up behind you and talk to you. And I'm like, this is so stupid. You guys are so stupid. Hopefully, the second half is better than this first half of them just being immature. But again, Kenya's playing a game because she knows how to play the game, and she knows that really Marlo is really not calling the shots. So I'm going to be here. I'm going to get paid, and that is what it is. So she's following her around. Kenya's laughing and talking about how she's not going to talk to her. It's just a whole mess. All right, so as she's chasing Kenya around, they're like running up the stairs, and all you hear is Kenya saying, "Get off me, get off me." But she has a smile. You can tell she's smiling. She's, trying to keep it cute the whole time. She's telling them, "I told y'all, don't let her touch me." And Marlo is saying, "I'm not going to touch her. I'm not violent with her. I'm not going to do anything to her." And she's trying to get everybody out the door, Marlo, and she's constantly talking to Kenya. Kenya, then have a safe trip home. And Kenya's like, don't speak to me directly. I will speak to you directly. Have a safe trip home or whatever. And everybody is just ridiculous. So they walk outside, and Marlo is just like, listen, keep my nephew's names out of your mouth or whatever. And she's like, so that's one thing you won't do. Something she said. And Kenya's like, yeah, because you don't care. You already put them out. And Sheree is like, Kenya. And she, Marlo's like, Kenya is trash. And your butt needs to be redone. Like, it's terrible. I'm going to post how bad it is tonight. I'm going to post it. And I was like, she's like 2 years old. Like, I swear to God, Marlo is so, oops, sorry guys. I swear she's so freaking childish. It's ridiculous. I can't wait for her to be off this show. I'm not even lying. Like, I can't deal with Marlo and her antics the entire time. All right, y'all. So we get to this super duper childish part of them being in a driveway, and Marlo saying, "Are you going with her? Because I said she can't hang with us. So if you go with her, then you're not going with me." Like, it's just so ridiculous. They're going back and forth. We get a half an hour in the parking lot, and Marlo talking to Kenya, and Kenya's like, "Bitch, I'm the icon. You're an ex-con. Bye." She called her a loser, and I'm like, "Okay, all right." Then we have Sheree trying to talk to Kenya about coming on her trip and not acknowledging her. Well, I said hi. And then they show where, yeah, when Kenya came in the house, she said hi to everybody. It was a general hi, but still, she was gracious enough to speak. Then we have Sanya at her window like, Kenya, you need to do this and that. And Kenya's just like, girl, get out my face. And I was so happy when she said that. Get out my face. Because you had an issue with the way Drew spoke to Sheree, but you don't have an issue with the way Marlo is acting right now. Girl, bye. Like, get out of my face. Seriously. And Sanya's like, well, you're just being very dismissive of her. And I think that's what hurts her feelings. Yeah, because she wants attention. She's so mad that Kenya will not be her friend that it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And then Sanya's in the confessional like, yeah, and she's being very dismissive of me. So I see how Marlo feels. And I'm like, she should be dismissive of you. Get out of her face. Like, oh, Sanya, bye, Sanya. All right, so it's an hour and a half in the driveway, which is ridiculous. And I promise you, I wouldn't have been in nobody's driveway for an hour and a half. I would have definitely had my ass back in that house. I'm not playing those games. Listen, y'all can go gym mining, which I'm sure I didn't want to go in the first place. But if y'all playing these games with who's riding with who and who's doing what, and basically Kenya's winning. She is like, she's there, and you're not doing anything because if you're not letting her go, you're not going. And that's exactly what's happening. So we have it where, Drew is saying, yeah, let's go or whatever. She's with Marlo. Let's everybody go or whatever. And Marlo's like, okay, get in. And Drew is like, oh no, I'm not riding with that bitch. Talking about Fatum. And yeah, Fatum starts, she's like a little chihuahua, I swear. She's like, what are you talking about? So she's coming at her. And I think I heard where they were saying that Drew was saying the girl was drunk or whatever. And I'm like, Drew is such a liar. She's just a freaking liar. And they're like, no, she's not drunk right now. Like, why are you saying that? Oh, but her eyes and Drew is ridiculous. She starts barking. Candy's in the confessional, like, what is she doing? Why is she barking? And I'm just like, oh God, Drew is an embarrassment. They need to redo so many of these women on this show. I promise you. I don't need to see Drew, Marlo, Sanya, Sheree. So many of them I don't need to see. But again, I have to cut my commentary. Yeah. All right, so at least I can go quickly past this part. I'm not going to say any of their little one liners or whatever on this freaking trampoline. I don't care. So basically, Candy and Manetta decide to go for a walk and they decide to go on the trampoline in the backyard. They tell Kenya. So it's them three. They're going to take pictures. They're on the trampoline. They're taking pictures. Here comes Marlo and um, everybody else. They get on the trampoline, her and Sheree, because they're just dumb and dumber for real. They get on the trampoline, and then we have Marlo saying, Kenya, you can go now. You can go. I've been closer to God, and now you can go. And I'm just like, girl, you're not calling any of the shots. The thing is, if you're saying we're not going without Kenya, y'all ain't been nowhere. It's been 2 hours. And obviously, you can't go if Kenya doesn't go. So why do you keep making it seem like you're calling the shots? I just don't understand. But Candy is irritated. Manetta is irritated. She's like, I've never been around such childish women. And Candy said the same thing. Like, these women are kids and they just need to jump it out. Like, it's just ridiculous. And it is. All right, so they're finally on the road to go gem mining. And once they get there, and it's so funny because Marlo had a car. It had Sheree, Sanya, Drew. Kenya had a car. It had Fatum, Manetta, and Candy. And they called it Kenya's car. Period. Like, they called it Kenya's car. Marlo had a car and Kenya had a car. So, sis, who are you telling that they can't go? Like, you can't go until she goes. And when she goes, she has her own car. It wasn't Candy's car. Kenya was in Candy's car. Kenya was in Manietta's car. No, it was Kenya's car. That's how they labeled it. And I just want Marlo to get over herself. Like, ma'am, are you kidding me? So they get there, and Marlo is like, oh, Sonya, I just want to thank you for really having my back. And you weren't on the fence. You was just like, listen, we're here for Marlo, and I really appreciate that. And I'm like, girl, basically you're saying thank you for kissing my ass. Thank you so much. You are the best ass kisser of the day. You're even better than Sheree. Thank you. Ugh, ridiculous. Yeah, so they at the gem mining place, and you could tell like immediately. I'm so good at it, you guys. I can tell when something is off, and you could tell something was off with this man. Like the way that he was barely answering them, and it was taking him a long time to really answer them, and he wasn't being very personable, basically. And then we hear a noise, and Kenya's like, "Oh, I kind of messed up the place. Here's your Trump sign." And it's like Trump 2024. And she starts laughing like, listen, I just had to clean up the place. And I'm like, oh, you could totally tell that he was that type. You can totally tell because of the way that he was speaking to them. Like, it's ridiculous. Y'all, I have people around me, like my next door neighbor. Well, he's gone now, but the lady still lives there. But he had Trump signs and the thing. Now, he was a nice man. He was nice to me. He would cut my grass and everything. But he had signs talking about, Trump. He loved Trump or whatever. And then I have other signs like going to work. It's still there saying Trump won. Like, it's ridiculous. I am in a red state, obviously, but it's so ridiculous. But yeah, you could tell this man had kind of an issue with having to deal with them. So I wasn't mad at Kenya. Yeah, so they doing this gem mining, and Drew was just like, "Oh, it's so lame," and like I don't feel like they're really feeling it, and I feel like I wouldn't have been feeling it either. I'm not waiting 2 hours to come here and do this. I would have just stayed back at the house and watched a little YouTube. Sorry. So then Drew is sitting there, she's doing her thing, and all of a sudden she gets up. Candy's talking to her. She's literally talking to her, and she sees her get up and run away. And Fatum just sat down across from her, and she's like, "Why you running? Why you running?" And they're trying to calm Fatum down, like, "Listen, calm down. Like, not now." And I'm just like, Fatum is on 10 all of the time. So you even see Kenya patting Fatum down. And then Drew is just like, Sheree, come get your lap dog. Put a leash on her. Calm her down. Like, it's ridiculous. And y'all, I don't like Drew. But Fatum is doing too much. Like, just find a spot when it belongs. She ain't saying nothing to you or whatever. Don't just pop off as soon as you see her. It's ridiculous. So they leave, and they're being really nice to the man, who is once again practically ignoring them. And I'm just like, y'all better get out of there before sundown, honestly. All right, so we get back to the house or the cabin, and Sheree is looking for Marlo. Marlo, Marlo. I'm like, oh, now there's a lapdog. And, Marlo's like, "I'm just packing up. I can't take it. I don't want to be here. She shouldn't have come. Her bad energy." And Sheree is in the confessional like, yeah, if Kenya wasn't feeling her, she just shouldn't have come on the trip. And she's like, "If I'm not feeling somebody, they're not coming on my trip." And I'm like, "Sheree, you ain't got no trip, so beat it." So she tells Sheree, Marlo tells Sheree, like she worked for her, like she's the manager, "Go and get all the women and have them come into the front room and meet me there." Bitch, who do you think you are? Like, honestly, I'm not doing that. But of course, Marlo was like, "Okay, okay, going." Ugh. Yeah, so they meet in the front room, and she's all like, "Oh my God, thank you for coming to the meeting. I came here to recharge and bond with all of you, and I actually feel worse than I did when I got here." And Drew is eating. Uh, uh, what's her name? Candy has the whatever face. Of course, Kenya is rolling her eyes, barely looking at her, because who cares? Like, really, who cares? This is so ridiculous. It's a commercial right now, but Marlo is just goddamn ridiculous, you guys. All right, y'all. So we wrap it up at this meeting, and Marlo is, once again explaining how she's not feeling well, and she was there for them to make her happy, and they did the opposite. She feels worse. And Fatum, chimes in and says, "Listen, I want to apologize to you for, getting out of hand and going there. But unfortunately, some people can take me there, and she's the one, that can take me there." And I felt attacked, so I had to say something back. And I thought about it. I'm like, was she attacked? Well, kind of she was. Like, she was provoked when Drew said, "I'm not riding in a car with that bitch." Yeah, I'm going to say something back too, so I don't blame her. But then Drew is just like, "What are you talking about? You're a lap dog. You're a doggy." And she pulls out a dog bone and throws it at her. And Fatum is like, "That's all you got?" So they're arguing. And Sheree and everybody's trying to tell them, "Not right now." And it's so funny because Drew pulls out a bone and nobody is impressed. Everybody's just like, "You look stupid." Once again, she comes with these crazy props and she just looked dumb as heck. I swear to God, she don't represent Chi-Town. I don't know where she's from for real. She's not from Chicago. But they talking about how she doesn't have a dog. Like, and Candy is like, "You literally brought that dog bone from home or whatever and brought it to make a point." And Fatum is just like, "That's all you got?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you look stupid. You look so stupid." So basically, Marlo tells them, "Listen, I'm over this trip and I called cars for you guys, so everybody's leaving. Get out." And they're all like, "What?" And I'm just like, it's ridiculous that they have to deal with her. Candy's like, "I've never been thrown off a trip before." And like all that they did, all that they went through, being tired, now you can't even go and relax. You got to get ready pack and get out of there. I would never go on another triple Marlowe. Well, first of all, I wouldn't have gone on the first triple Marlowe. I'm not doing nothing that she's in charge of at all. And yeah, I'm just hoping that we don't have to deal with her next season. That's for real. But if you are still here, you are the real MVP. Thank you so much. If you have not already, please like the video. It does wonders for my analytics. Comment, subscribe. If you comment, I talk back to my subbies for sure. Subscribe. It would help me out as well. It's free of charge. And I will see you guys in the next video. I am positive I will be doing Married to Medicine tomorrow after work. All right, smooches.